tell you what I'm going to do before I do it. If I did it in the past, I'm not going to change it. I'm the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. There's no difference. If he said he coming in the 7th month and the 10th day, he ain't going to change it. Isaiah chapter 27, we're going to start at verse 12. See what I'm saying? He going to gather us when he comes back. Gather us. Feast of Tabernacles is the same name, the Feast of Ingathering. He going to bring us in. Go ahead, bro. Verse 12.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall beat off from the channel of the river unto the stream of Egypt.
Yes, sir.
And ye shall be gathered one by one, O ye children of Israel.
He going to gather us one by one. This is what he's talking about, future. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown.
That same trumpet, the great trumpet, is synonymous with the 7th trumpet, the trumpet of Jubilee. The same trumpet. God's telling the same story all over through the Bible, over and over and over again. But you got to rightly divide this word so you understand what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, brother.
You want to start that over?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown, and they shall come which were ready to perish in the land of Assyria.
Yes, sir.
And the outcasts in the land of Egypt, and shall worship the Lord in the holy mount at Jerusalem.
That means the Lord is here. He's in the holy mountain in Jerusalem, sitting upon David's throne. He said they will come that were ready to perish. The ones that were almost about to perish in that tribulation period, he going to gather them through. And he's talking about the ones in the wilderness. He's talking about the ones that get caught over here and not getting in the wilderness. They ready to perish. They running for their life for them 3.5 years of tribulation. This is what he's saying. This is the great trumpet, which is the last trump, the 7th trumpet, which is the trumpet of Jubilee. Same thing. He's telling the same story through every one of these scriptures.
That's 7,000 years.
Yes, sir. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. Let's see what else he's going to do. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 14. That last trumpet is going to blow. It's going to be ingathering. He's going to gather us up. This is the Feast of Tabernacles. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 14. Oh, we have a hard time finding that. My God. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 14. And let's understand where they go and try to rapture you off this earth. Let's go to this. Verse 14. Go ahead, brother.
For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him.
See, the ones that sleep in Jesus, he's talking about the dead. They sleeping in the ground. When you die, or anybody die, your grandma die, your grandpa die, or your little baby die, they are sleeping in this ground. They are not in heaven, as they say. I got a little angel in heaven, which is my grandma or grandpa looking down on me, protecting me. That's a lie. They sleep in the ground. Everyone that was upon the earth that died, they right here, except for a few. They was talking about Enoch and talking about Elijah. Those are the ones that he said, okay, I'm going to put y'all where the angels at. That's another lesson. But go ahead, bro.
Verse 15. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep.
So you're going to actually see these people resurrecting or rising from the ground. You can be in this shop if you so happen to be here. You're going to see these people resurrecting out the ground, coming up to God, meeting him in the air, meeting Jesus in the air to receive their heavenly body. You're going to actually see this. If you live it, go ahead, brother.
For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout,
Yes, sir.
with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first.
Look at that trumpet of Jubilee. The last trump with a shout. Just like we did the feast of blowing the trumpets. You got 7 trumpets to blow. And the last trumpet, that's when it's going to be blown. That's when Jesus is going to appear. With a shout. Same thing. And we know it's going to be in that year of atonement and Pentecost. Atonement and tabernacle. Well, go ahead, bro. Listen, look at this right here now. Keep it, go ahead.
Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the cloud.
No, in the heaven, right? They said you're going to be caught up in heaven with Jesus. What did it say there?
In the cloud.
In the clouds. What you going to do in the cloud? Go ahead.
To meet with the Lord in the
So you're going to meet with him. So you're going to be caught up in the earth, in the clouds, hovering right there for a little while in the cloud, and you're going to have a meeting place. To do what? Go ahead.
And so shall we ever be with the Lord.
You're going to be with the Lord forever. But they telling you, you're going to be with the Lord forever in heaven. No, when you meet him in the cloud, you got a job to do. You got a job to do. You just going to receive your heavenly body, your immortal body, and you got a job to do. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 14. Let's show you that job. Zechariah chapter 14. All this pointing towards God's Feast of Tabernacles, all of it. Everything is in the plan of his holy days. If you don't break it down, these people will not understand it. That's why you got a lot of lazy pastors. They lazy. They love to tell you that we New Testament church. We ain't got to worry about all this stuff in the old book. Man, this stuff in the old book haven't been fulfilled yet. We're reading about stuff for the coming of the Lord. So how you gonna tell me I can read that book? Zechariah chapter 14. We'll start at verse 1. Zechariah is right behind Haggai, back of Daniel, but Daniel, Haggai, and then Zechariah. Go ahead, bro.
Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee.
That sounds like future to me. That's future tense. Go ahead, bro.
For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle.
Yes, sir.
And the city shall be taken, and the houses rafted, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall be cut off from the city.
So you talking about in them last days, you gonna have women raped, houses tore down and rifled. This talking about war. And these people coming over here, they're not gonna regard money. Like Americans and all the people out of the world think you can buy your way with these people. These people in these scriptures say they're neither gonna regard silver, gold. They got a job to do. They want to destroy whatever they have in front of them. And this is what the Lord has ordained for them to do. So you better be in a place of safety. Go ahead, brother, verse 3.
Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle.
The Lord fighting? This after that 7th trump. He gonna fight. Go ahead.
And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives.
Yes, sir. That's in Jerusalem, the Mount of Olives. Go ahead.
Which is before Jerusalem on the east.
Yes, sir.
And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in thy midst thereof toward the east and toward the west.
Yes, sir.
And there shall be a very great valley. Half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, half of it toward the south.
When Jesus' feet touch that Mount of Olives, he gonna flatten it. If you go look at, go get a map and look up Mount Sinai. He gonna crush everything that's in that vicinity. Destroy it. That's why it ain't gonna be good to be in Jerusalem at that time. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. This is what Jesus said he's going to do. Let's look at what else he said he's going to do. Go ahead, verse 5.
And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountain, for the valley of the mountain shall reach unto Azar.
Yes, sir.
Yea, ye shall flee like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee.
Where you get them saints from? 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, he said they're going to meet him up in the air, where he's going to meet with the Lord. He didn't say he's going to take them all out there to the third heaven, and they're going to live in the third heaven with the Father. No, they got a job to do. He said they're going to meet with the Lord in the air, and they coming right back down here to earth to fight. To fight. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark.
Yes, sir.
But it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord.
Yes, sir.
Not day, nor night. But it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light.
Yes, sir. See, one day with the Lord is as what? 1,000 years.
Amen.
So that one day is going to stay the same. Not light or day. It's going to be like that for 1,000 years. Go ahead.
And it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, half of them toward the hinder sea.
Yes, sir.
In summer and in winter shall it be.
He's going to clean the earth up. That's all it's saying. He's going to clean it up so it be purified. After he done fought with them, with the saints. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall be king over all the earth.
King over where?
All the earth.
I thought they said we're going to be in heaven. Where is he king at? Earth. When he come back, he's staying right here. Not when they tell you going out beyond, as that song we listen to. When I listen to that song, I understand what he's talking about. We supposed to meet him in the air. And then we got a job to do. He coming back to Jerusalem, where he's going to set up his kingdom for 1,000 years. Bar none. Go ahead, bro.
In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name one.
Okay. Now let's jump down to verse 16. Well, he's on earth right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they tell us that once Jesus come back, we ain't gonna have to do these whole days. We're gonna be all up in heaven somewhere. Let's see what we're gonna do when he on earth. So jump down to verse 16. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
What? We still gonna be keeping the Feast of Tabernacles? We still gonna be doing the same feast we doing today? And that Jehovah's Witness told me, we ain't gotta worry about that. We just take upon to do Passover, that's it. We gonna be taking upon ourselves, we gonna be doing the Feast of Tabernacles when the Lord set his kingdom up on earth. So how are you gonna help the Lord run his kingdom when you don't know what to do on the Feast of Tabernacles? You can't be a leader. You can't help him. So guess what you gonna be? You ain't gonna be one of his leaders running it. You gonna be trying to get salvation. The ones that understand it, he gonna appoint to them being leaders in his kingdom. We know what we're supposed to be doing on Tabernacle. Go ahead, brother.
17. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all of the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
So you're going to have to, the Lord's going to be upon earth. He said 3 times a year you must come back to Jerusalem and you must worship him. These folks are not going to come back. He said it ain't going to rain. When it don't rain, your crops don't get water. When your crops don't get water, you don't have no vegetation. When you don't have no vegetation, your animals can't eat. When your animals can't eat, you can't eat. And when you can't get no water, you gonna die. You gonna die also. Rain is very, very important. He know how this man is. He know what to do with this man. This man, especially Israel, we hard-headed. So-called Negroes, we real hard-headed. We don't understand something until it hits us in the face and he say, oh, I'm gonna do it now. It's too late to do it now. Now you gotta endure the punishment. He giving you everything you need so you can avoid that punishment. But guess what most people think about? Man, I gotta go get me some clothes. I gotta go get me some jewelry. I gotta go get this part. I can't be around here. I gotta go take care of my kids. They got so much stuff they doing upon this earth that they can't take care of the business of the Lord. This is the business. When you can't take care of the business of the Lord, guess what your behind gonna be? I'll let you do the math on that. Let's go to Revelation chapter 15. We finished with that? You got one more? Go ahead, read that.
17.
17, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
We're 18, I'm sorry.
Go 18.
And if the family of Egypt go not up, and come not, that have no rain, that shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Now, if he's doing this in the kingdom, what you think about now? You can't keep it now. You don't want to keep it now. You want to do something else. And he's going to punish them when they in the kingdom at the time, with Jesus upon the throne. I'm saying Jesus got to run this earth for 1,000 years, and then the Father going to bring that mansion down to earth. It's got to be cleaned up. You got to be ready for the Father to come down. Period. Period. Verse 19, go ahead.
This shall be the punishment of Egypt.
This shall be the punishment of Egypt. Go ahead.
And the punishment of all nations.
So he covered everybody. All nations. If you don't what? Go ahead.
That come not up to the Feast of Tabernacles.
So if you don't do this feast, what we doing right now, we are practicing. We are practicing right now. So he can say, okay, they know my plan. They know what they're supposed to do. So I can bring them with me. Period. Let's go to Revelation chapter 15. In verse 1. Everybody going to take it upon this feast. This ain't for the Jews. This ain't just for the Gentiles. This is for everybody. If you want to be with the Lord, you must take upon this feast. The Feast of Tabernacles. This is when the first feast we're going to be doing when he get on this earth. And you ain't doing it now? Your preacher is leading you straight to the lake of fire. He ain't teaching you this right now. Revelation chapter 15, verse 1. Go ahead.
And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues.
Yes, sir.
For in them is filled up the wrath of God.
They're going to be 7 plagues. The wrath of God. Go ahead.
And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. Them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God.
See, he said he's seen the ones that gotten the victory over it. You got the victory over this. And he's going to bring you with him. The end gathering. Bring you with him. Go ahead.
And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thy King of saints.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou art holy, thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest.
So why did this tell you this for the Jews? He said, all nations shall come and worship him. This is when the Lord is going to be upon the earth. You coming up to worship him. Period. Bar none. Now let's go back to Leviticus chapter 23 and get what else we're supposed to be doing upon this feast. Yes, sir. We're getting some understanding. Y'all ain't gonna be sitting up here under me. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Y'all supposed to tell me when I'm doing something wrong. Be able to correct me. You said, no, Jeff, you don't want to read that. Because sometimes I read stuff just to see if you really paying attention. And misread it. Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 39. Let's see what else we're supposed to be doing on this feast. Go ahead.
Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days.
Yes, sir.
On the first day shall be a Sabbath.
This is what we're doing now. We're on the first day, shall be the Sabbath, first day of the Feast of Tabernacles. Go ahead.
And on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath.
Now we're going to deal with that 8th day coming next Thursday and showing you what the 8th day pointing toward. I know it said for 7 days, this 8th day pointing toward the future. Pointing toward the future of something. We're going to deal with that. Go ahead.
And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days.
So these bowls, you're supposed to be a booth. That's a place that you're supposed to have on top of your house or outside of your house where you're supposed to commune in for 7 days. Going out there, communing in for 7 days. Not just a tent, you're supposed to have a place. Like I said, if you ain't capable of doing all that, that's on you. I'm just giving you the instruction of the Lord. Now let's go to Nehemiah chapter 8. Let's see what we're going to do with these bowls of trees and booths. Nehemiah. We got 3 more after this. Chapter 8. We're going to start at verse 14. This is when Ezra came in one of God's temples and he found a book. And when he found this book, he found something that they was not doing. Just like I can see myself in that today. When somebody first taught me this about God's feast, I said, man, we supposed to be doing this. Why aren't we doing this? That's why I had to get out of them Sunday churches, man. I had to get out of there. Y'all taking me straight to the lake of fire with all this fun. We having good fun, we seeing good people, we dressing good, we riding good, we doing all this stuff, having fun, but ain't nobody getting no knowledge. Ain't don't nobody know nothing. I do this little thing, after they get out of church Sunday, ask them, what did they preach about? Ask them, they ask them folks to go to church on Sunday, what did your pastor preach about? What did you learn? I don't know, child, but we sure had a good time. That's all they go for, a good time. Fellowship. He ain't talking about nothing. He's trying to keep you happy to keep that bread coming. Nehemiah chapter 8, and we're going to start at verse 14. We're dealing with Ezra right here. And he found something in God's temple that let him know he was doing something wrong. Go ahead, brother.
And they found written in the law which the Lord had commanded by Moses, that the children of Israel should dwell in booths